Hi there everybody, Ollie here, aka Secret Embers here, another episode of Magic Duels. So for today's episode, we are going through my deck tech for a Red Deck Wins. So I haven't done a Red Deck Wins kind of deck tech in a little while, and kind of wanted to update it because the general consensus for the meta at the moment is that it's full of like Planeswalkers, so Superfriends decks and mill decks, and one of the best ways of just getting around these is kind of either hard counter or just aggression. So I thought, you know, let's go for the aggression option this time and just go for the kind of one of the fastest decks you can play, which is just the mono red deck. Spam out loads of cheap minions, pump them up with auras and combat tricks, and then just kind of like swing for lethal as fast as possible. So yeah, to begin with, we've got the good old Goblin Glory Chaser, so the 1 mana 1/1, which becomes renowned, and then when it becomes renowned it also has menace, so very, very tricksy creature. Next we have the Goblin Arsonist, so another 1 red mana 1/1. When it dies you can then ping either a creature or player for 1 damage, so it's quite nice. Got the Fiery Impulse for dealing with other cheap creatures, get them out of the way early on. Could potentially deal up to 3 damage depending if we have the Spell Mastery active. Rush of Adrenaline, so this is from the Shadows over Innistrad set, so 1 mana combat trick which gives your creature +2/+1 and trample. Next we have the Titan Strength, another 1 mana combat trick. This time you gives a creature +3/+1, and you get to scry as well, which can be quite useful for looking for answers late in the game. Next we have the Ember Hauler, so a 2 red mana 2/2, which we can also sacrifice to ping for 2 damage, so good for finishing off players or creatures. Mage-Ring Bully's in, so a 1 red 1 colourless 2/2 with prowess, so when we play any of our combat tricks or auras it gets pumped up +1/+1. It does have to attack each turn if able, but you know, we're pretty much attacking each turn with this deck anyway, so that's not really such a negative side effect. 2 copies of Call of the Full Moon, so the Enchantment, which gives a creature +3/+2 and trample. If 2 spells are cast in a turn, we do have to sacrifice it, which is it's almost a one-shot aura, but it usually does the damage in that one shot. Next we have 4 copies of Infectious Bloodlust, so another 2 mana aura. This time it only gives our creature +2/+1, does give it haste, does force our creature to attack each turn if able. Like I said, not really too much of a negative in a deck where we pretty much want to attack each turn if able anyway. Also, if a creature this is attached to dies, we also get to search up for another copy to attach to another creature, which is always quite nice. We've got Chandra, so a 3 mana, so 2 red mana 1 colourless flip planeswalker, where we can use her to ping damage. So whenever when we tap her, we get to ping 1 damage to either target player, sorry, not target creature or player, just the player. Whenever we cast a red spell, which this deck is full of, we get to untap her. Whenever she's tapped and did a 3rd point of damage on her turn, so say for example she's swung, dealt 2 damage, we play a red spell, untap her, we ping her again, deal the 1 damage, we get to flip her into Chandra Roaring Flame, in which we get to deal damage to players, creatures, or use the ultimate ability where we get to deal 6 damage to each opponent, and then give them the emblem where they get dealt damage every turn. Usually what we want to do with this creature is play a couple of cheap spells, ping her into Chandra, and just basically deal 4 damage to a player on 1 turn. One of the real reasons I wanted to run a Red Deck Wins was mostly to run Hanweir Garrison. This card is really, really fun. So for 3 mana, we get a 2/3 body, which is not too bad on its own. Best bit about this card is that whenever we swing with it, we get to put 2 1/1 red human creature tokens onto the battlefield. These don't get exiled either, unlike kind of Chandra's ability where she summons the tokens. These get to stick around, so it's essentially a token generator. And yeah, they get to stick around. You can keep generating tokens every turn that it swings. Also, if we have the Hanweir Battlements, so the land, we get to merge it into Hanweir the Writhing Township, which is a 7/4 trample haste creature, which gets to put 2 3/2 colourless Eldrazi horror creature tokens onto the battlefield instead of the humans as well. So that is pretty crazy. Next we've got Breakneck Rider. Included this kind of fairly late. Reason being is that I was looking for something like an anthem, because there's very few like mono red anthems in this particular version of the game. So the top possibility of like flipping Breakneck Rider and giving all attacking creatures I control +1/+0 and trample was very, very tempting. So I jammed a couple of copies in here just on the off chance that it might get flipped and we might be able to use its anthem ability. Also, it's just a 3 mana 3/3 body, so not too bad on its own. Next we've got Exquisite Firecraft, so the 2 red 1 colourless mana sorcery, which allows us to ping 4 damage at target creature or player. Also can be unblockable if we have Spell Mastery active. Best bit about this card is that if you have 2 of them in hand, you only have to get your opponent down to 8 mana to guarantee a victory, which is also quite nice. Have Akoum Firebird, so a 4 mana 3/3 with flying and haste. So got the also I'm looking for. They've got the evasion and also the haste as well, so you can drop it and swing for 3 mana. It does have the landfall where you can pay 6 mana to bring it back, but usually this is a one-shot 3 damage card. And then finally we've got the Avaricious Dragon, where it's a 4 mana 4/4 flyer. At the beginning of our uptake we get to draw an additional card, and at the end of our at the beginning of our end step we have to discard our hand. So usually you want to play this kind of when you've already emptied your hand, regurgitated your hand all over the battlefield. You want to play this out late game, start drawing 2 additional cards, and then probably playing both of those cards on the same turn to prevent you having to discard them. In terms of the mana, we've got 17 mountains, the 2 Hanweir Battlements. So with this one we can add 1 mana to our mana pool, target creature gains haste until end of turn by tapping it and a red mana, and also if we have the Hanweir Garrison we can also tap down for 5 mana to, again, like I said, get the Hanweir Writhing Township. And then finally we've got a couple of Looming Spires to give a creature +1/+1 and first strike until end of turn, and also the red mana as well. Running 24 mana just because, you know, with this game you're more likely to get mana screwed than you'd like, so just put in 1 additional mana than the 20 I used to run, just to basically ensure that we can get up to the 4 mana that we need for the Akoum Firebird and the Avaricious Dragon. But that is the deck. Let's go play some games. Okay guys, here we are for game number 1. We're playing the rank 13 3 squares. I think it's just like random symbols which the game can't quite interpret. I think we'll keep this hand. Got the Mage-Ring Bully, which isn't too bad. So just drop a couple of mountains and then maybe the Looming Spires on turn 3. Very nice. We've managed to find Chandra, which is good. So we can start tapping her down later on. So we've got red and green so far. Don't know if we've got any kind of burn to come, but I'm sure we'll find out. So I'd like to get Chandra down and maybe get her flipped as soon as possible, would be pretty awesome. And we've got a Nissa's Pilgrimage, so it looks like we're playing a pretty traditional red-green ramp deck. Would be quite nice to see. Haven't seen one of them in a little while. Becoming less popular. Let's play out a 3rd mana. Cool, we've got the Exquisite Firecraft as well. Oops, a daisy. So we don't really want to do anything here except play out Chandra. Here we go. So yeah, we've got plenty of spells that we can use to flip her potentially. Depending on what he plays out here, we could swing, play out, I don't know, like a Titan Strength. Okay, so he's played out a Kurd Chieftain. So that comes down as a 4/4. And we could just burn it down here. Ooh, we've got the Hanweir Garrison as well. Like, what do we do here then? I could Looming Spires you, tap you down, and then potentially do something like a Titan Strength or something like that. Let's do that. So we'll give you the +1/+1 and first strike. And then see what he does. So this is going to have to swing. See what he does here. We could Titan Strength or... So he decided to do nothing here. So we're just going to tap Chandra down now. So he's let that go through. And then I think we'll just play out the Hanweir Garrison, which will untap Chandra. And then we'll just ping him again on his end step before Chandra comes down. Oh, sorry, before it's our turn again. What am I looking for? So we could just ping this one with the Exquisite Firecraft. He's going to Fiery Impulse my Chandra, so we're just pinging for 1 again. That's lucky that he's managed to get the 1 Fiery Impulse and the 1 red mana he has. He's found himself an Elvish Visionary. Thinking maybe just Fiery Impulse you down. Or we could Titan Strength. See what he does here. Is he going to swing? He is not going to swing. Okay, what do we do here then? So we could Titan Strength, but that won't push us out of range of the Kurd Chieftain, so I'm probably just going to burn you down now. Do I Fiery Impulse you? How much damage would we push through if I fire Impulse you? 4, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, let's do that. Plus we get the 2 additional tokens down to help us deal more damage as well later on. So we get the 2 tokens. So we do have the Ember Hauler to potentially push through 3 damage if we need it. Sorry, 2 damage if we need it at the end. So he's played out another Cur Chieftain. Not really that fussed by that, as we've got more than enough here. We've got the Titan Strength in hand. I think we've pretty much got lethal on the board anyway. So, and we've also got the Rush of Adrenaline, so even better. So we do get the 2 creatures, which would be lethal regardless. It can only block one of our creatures, and we've got at least 5 damage on the board. So yeah, that's a win for game number 1. Okay guys, here we are for game number 2. That was a long string of numbers and I completely missed it, so we're going to draw a new hand here. Much better. We've got the Goblin Glory Chaser, we've got the Goblin Arsonist, we've got the Ember Hauler, and we've got Chandra, so this is a pretty nice opening hand here. Yeah, we're playing the rank 14, 412, 111, 223. Very random, but hey ho. Okay, that's cool. We've also managed to find ourselves the Call of the Full Moon as well, so nice way of potentially pumping up our Glory Chaser if we want to. So to stay on curve, I'm half tempted to play out the Ember Hauler this turn and keep the Goblin Arsonist as fodder for untapping Chandra. So this guy is still looking for mana to do stuff with, so we've got black, white and green, so maybe control. These kind of colour combinations tend to indicate control. Call of the Full Moon? Yeah, we'll do the Call of the Full Moon. Start pushing through some serious damage. So we want to move as fast as possible here, really. So this will get Renowned. So we want to play Chandra out next turn to start pinging him. And with the Call of the Full Moon, we've obviously got to be careful of only playing out 1 spell a turn unless we want to sacrifice it. So yeah, Chandra will work next turn. Murderous Compulsion, okay. So use the Sorcery there. So definitely some kind of control deck if he's running cards like Murderous Compulsion. So we'll go for Chandra this turn. Reason being is that we could potentially, yeah, we've got 2 really super duper cheap spells which we can use to kind of ping, untap, ping, flip, ping again. Oh, dead weight, you're joking! No, that was my Chandra! Ugh, this is definitely a control deck if he's running things like dead weight. Wow. So we'll get the Goblin Glory Chaser and the Mage-Ring Bully down here, I think. We've got to keep being aggressive. We've got to get our creatures down. There's no other option, really. So it looks like he's, well, so far he's playing a very creature light deck. We haven't seen a creature yet, although we have just found the seen the Ulenvold Mysteries and the Declaration Stone. So what's he declaring in stone? My Mage-Ring Bully, unfortunately. So play another mana. I think I'm going to sacrifice to see what we find. Titan Strength could be useful later on, especially if this is Prowess Menaced again, which is good. And I think we'll play out the Ember Hauler. Oh yeah, we're only going to deal 1 damage this turn, aren't we? Yeah. And then yeah, we'll play out Ember Hauler. That's really frustrating that he's managed to get rid of my Chandra there. That was going to be awesome. If he didn't have that dead weight there, that would have been, yeah, game over with the Chandra. Okay, so he's playing the Fleshbag Marauder here, so we're probably just going to sacrifice the Ember Hauler. We want to keep the Prowess creature if possible. So he's got himself a token, which he can sacrifice and generate himself a 1/1 human soldier. So we just need to keep being aggressive here, I feel. Another Mage-Ring Bully is good. So let's push through with the Glory Chaser. Push through that 2 damage. Like I said, we need to keep delving deeper into his health. So he's down at 13 now. Then we've got the Mage-Ring Bully and the Goblin Arsonist. Now what? You can't do anything. You've got no mana open. Unless you just... why would he pause there? That was like the oddest place to pause in my opinion. Okay, so we do have potential, if he can, in case he's got anything that can just deal 2 damage to our Mage-Ring Bully, we do have a way of... So you're going to get Fiery Impulse, I feel, next turn to actually pump up my Mage-Ring Bully. So he is searching up for a card. I wonder what he's going to find. He's found a Gilt-Leaf Winnower, so we are completely safe from any Gilt-Leaf Winnower attacks here. Okay, we have the Rush of Adrenaline, which is good, so I'm just going to burn you down immediately. He will get the clue token to potentially sacrifice and get himself an additional blocker, which he is going to do. That is fine by me. I have a Titan Strength and a Rush of Adrenaline. We're going to swing with everybody. Oopsie daisy. See where he decides to put the blockers. So he's going to double block my... Oopsie daisy. Pause, there we go. So we're going to Rush of Adrenaline you. Rush of Adrenaline you. And then Titan Strength you. We'll bottom you, you're not that useful right now. So I think we're pushing through something like 11 damage there, yeah. So we need, like, the only thing we really would need now would be like an Exquisite Firecraft. We need to avoid a Sweeper. If he has no Languish, and he's obviously got no Languish or anything like that. So yeah, that's a win for game number 2. Okay guys, here we are for game number 3. We're playing the rank 28 Grixis. So yeah, this is a nice opening hand again. So we've got the turn 1 Goblin Glory Chaser as per usual with this deck. Like, you always want to see Goblin Glory Chaser in this opening hand. Goblin Arsonist is never a bad thing, but yeah, you really want to see this card in your opening hand if possible. So next turn we can either go for the Call of the Full Moon or the Looming Spires. I'm gonna go with the Looming Spires. And then the Goblin Arsonist, just because we need to get this down, you know, sooner rather than later. A lot of mana so far for this deck. For this particular draw, we've had a lot of mana. We don't always get this much mana. So we've got the Exquisite Firecraft, so we need to get him down to 4 health for the guaranteed victory here. So we've got black so far, so... and a Rogue's Passage, interesting. Child of the Night, interesting. We've got some vampires. Wasn't what I was expecting. Do I go for the Mage-Ring Bully here and then the Call of the Full Moon next turn? Yes, I think I do. So we're just going to swing with both of these. And he's not going to block for obvious reasons. I mean, we could block this with the Mage-Ring Bully, but it almost feels like a bit of a waste. We really want this for the long-term damage if possible. And he's just left the game. Is he mana screwed? I just want to take a look at this before finding a new game. Looks like he could be, so we'll continue playing actually, just because that was a bit of a short game and I feel as though he quit far too soon. So yeah, let's give you Call of the Full Moon. Give it to you just because you're unblockable. Oh no, you weren't unblockable. That was actually a bit silly of me. But that'll be fine. So you have to attack. And we'll attack with you as well. Try and clear away at least one of these. So the AI's let the 7 damage go through. We won't play out the second Mage-Ring Bully because that would be silly. I was really curious about why this guy decided to concede here. I'll let the 4 damage go through. He'll go back up to 10. I'm assuming he's probably mana screwed. It looks like it. Yeah, he's mana screwed. So that's answered that question. Hanweir Battlements is fine. I think we can just burn him down here. So we've got lethal on the board. So yeah, that answered that question. Okay, so yeah, awesome. Yeah, I think I'll probably leave it here for now. We've done 3 games and we won every single one of them, so it's pretty sweet. And yeah, so that was my what am I looking for? That was my red deck wins. So my updated one, including quite a few cards from the Shadows over Innistrad and the Eldritch Moon expansion, just because I haven't done one in a while. I think when I looked at my old red deck wins, it still had the replacements for, was it the Perilous Mere, and so what used to have Perilous Mere and the Imp, is it Imp? No, not Imp, that's a Pathstone. What am I on about? The one that got pumped up +1/0 for every like creature you played, red creature you played. Yeah, it had the kind of the replacement cards for them because it was that was the last time I'd played with it. So before that patch went through. So yeah, so I just thought I'd update my red deck wins deck. So yeah, as always, guys, don't forget to comment and like if you've enjoyed the episode. If you're new to the channel, it's always nice to see you hit subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.